Little nugget for you there. Deshaun Watson.
Wasn't a Cowboy scoring him.
No. Deshaun Watson, 318 passing yards and 4 touchdowns. I think you asked me yesterday if he was going to throw more than 2, and I said no. So I was very, very wrong. And Deshaun Watson played well. The defense played well. Everything was working in the Texans' favor yesterday. They were turning over the Detroit Lions. All things were really good. I'll say this about Deshaun Watson. He is a fantastic quarterback. But yesterday, he had a really good day. 17 of 25. I mentioned the 318 yards for 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. In fact, he has now thrown 15 touchdown passes without getting picked off once in the past 6 games. Here's what he is. He takes good care of the football. And I think when you have a quarterback and you know your football team isn't complete and isn't very good, taking care of the football is the best thing you can do for them. And that's what Deshaun Watson is doing. And that's why he's such a great leader.
Yeah, I look at it, Shay, and I watch what this Texans defense was able to give them. Mm-hmm. And Deshaun Watson has been faced with an uphill battle there with these Texans. And Bill O'Brien is gone, thankfully, for the Texans fan base. But it's hard not to watch and not think of DeAndre Hopkins when you watch what Deshaun Watson is able to do there with Will Fuller. There's real chemistry between these two. And they were able to get something going in this game. And I'm so happy, Deshaun, that the Texans held on to Will Fuller. It might be the first savvy move we've seen from them to not deal him. Maybe he could have headed to Green Bay at the deadline because he's a part of this future. When you got a chemistry like Fuller, and Will Fuller and Deshaun Watson have, that's something you want to covet. But going back to the Texans defense for the second consecutive week looked like a defense that was competent, that was capable, and was opportunistic. And it starts with how they've been against the run. This has been a bad team defending the run. They've done it.
The worst team in the NFL in defending the run.
And so Deshaun Watson's game has been impacted from what this defense hasn't given them. The Texans were good against the run for the second straight week, and they generated turnovers. They are the worst in the NFL at generating turnovers with only 5 takeaways through 10 games coming in. And those 3 turnovers were massive, and they came in a flurry. But when that happens, it allows Deshaun Watson to say, oh, you guys are going to keep me in this game? You're going to give me an opportunity? Not only that, but you're going to prop me up to succeed? I'll show you I'm one of the biggest stars in the NFL. And he looked like one of the biggest stars in the NFL. And that's who Deshaun Watson is. And I know it's hard for you to hear that as a Chicago Bears fan because you elected to go with Mitchell Trubisky in that draft back in, 2017?
It's like, what do we hear more about, that or the fact the Texans traded away DeAndre Hopkins? 2 conversations that constantly come up.
This is a good job. This is a good job for a coach and, to be honest, a GM to be in position to take over.
Okay.
Laramie Tunsil is your left tackle there. You've got your star quarterback. You've got a star receiver in Will Fuller, who's the fastest guy in the league. I mean, and the deep ball that Deshaun Watson can throw, fun to watch. Can you be competent in the drafts moving forward? Can you take advantage of what will probably be a third-tier schedule next season and win some games and maybe put yourself in playoff position? But I want to see how they finish this year. Winners in 3 of their last 4. I want to see who the Texans can be here because I think they got a little bit of a heartbeat right now.
Okay, we'll get more into the Texans in a second because I have very strong feelings about the Texans, and I know you and I disagree on that a little bit, so we'll get into it in a minute. But let's really quick hit on the Detroit Lions. Again, 41-25 was the final score yesterday. The Lions were bad in every sense of the word. They turned the ball over. There's issues. They lack drive. They lack fight, in my opinion. And now here we are looking at a team that's 4-7 and has wildly not met expectations at all in their division in the NFC North and in the National Football League as a whole.
Just say his name, Shay. You know,
Matt Patricia, your seat has never been hotter.
Get it off your chest.
In fact, at this point, your seat's probably hotter than Adam Gase's, which is incredible to me to even say out loud. I think we've come now to the realization Adam Gase is not going to be let go until the end of the season. It's not going to happen, or it would have already happened.
If it doesn't happen today, because you've got 10 days off until your next game, and you got a lineup of your next 4 games versus playoff contenders, so it's only going to get uglier.
That's what I'm saying.
It's only going to get uglier.
So for Matt Patricia, and Jordan's talking about Matt Patricia now, he's saying,
clear my throat here.
It's okay.
Clear my throat.
Sip your coffee. Matt Patricia likely, I would assume the same thing. And now this brings us to our next point, and that would be Jim Caldwell, who was the coach before Matt Patricia, who Matt Patricia earlier this year essentially said he had work to do when Jim Caldwell left because of the state the Lions were in when he got there. I think we can now all look at this and say, I don't know that that's exactly true. In Jim Caldwell's last 2 seasons in Detroit, they lost 7 games for the entire season, 9-7 and 9-7. Just so you know, here we are with Matt Patricia, 4-7. Okay? At this point, Patricia could win his next 24 games with the Lions. 24 games! And Caldwell will still own a better record with this team. It ain't Caldwell's problem. It's your problem, Matt Patricia, and you've put these Lions in a really bad spot.
A defensive guy, and his Lions defense is now had 40 hung on them for the 3rd time this season. Look, the Lions scored first in this game. They had some juice. And those 3 turnovers. And the first 2 coming on 2 straight snaps, 3 consecutive possessions in the first half, you turn the football over. And it's a team against a team, again, in the Texans that have registered only 5 takeaways in the first 10 games. That's a league low. So in the one game where you think, okay, we'll be good with the football, we'll give ourselves a chance, because it's not like this is an opportunistic defense that goes and takes it away from you. You open the door widely for this Texans team to take advantage. And to me, that was without question the undoing. Because you could have argued the Lions were the better team in that first half. They were only trailing, despite all that, by 6 in that first half. In reality, they should have had the lead. But how you respond to that, I mean, you look at coaching to be buttoned up and all these things, and there's a myriad of reasons you can point to the ineptitude from Matt Patricia. Defensively, as I said, the 3rd time they've given up 40 points. Those turnovers, careless mistakes with the football. But how you respond at the break. You come out of the break saying, hey, let's put that in the rear view. We've made those mistakes in the first half. We gave the Texans this opportunity. We still should come out here and play like we're the better team at home here and get some things done and make some adjustments. They came out with no life. They came out with no juice in the second half, and it only got ugly from there.
Lions 4-16 now on Thanksgiving Day since 2001. They've lost 4 straight on the holiday. A holiday that's their tradition.
Where's the defensive scheme for
it's just
Watson had all the time in the world to just sit there.
It's not okay.
Get soft coverage. It was rough to watch.
It's not okay.